What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down the 6-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Excited to get into the breakdown, giving you guys the top plays to get in that green cash line as always. Quick reminder, if you enjoy the content at any point throughout this video, if you feel like I provide you with any value, if it's entertaining, any of the above, if you could please take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. That would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my lock of the night. And if you didn't know, this video is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a player props website. You can pick the over and under on things like points, rebounds, assists, rebounds, three-pointers made, fantasy points, and win some money over here on PrizePicks. When you use the code KJK DFS, you will receive an instant match deposit up to $100 when you sign up today and deposit. Once again, that is code KJK DFS. And if you are getting very serious about NBA DFS, I do offer a premium package for both the DraftKings and FanDuel NBA and PrizePicks, as well as a combo package where you can get access to all three guys. If you want to check that out, that is linked below in the description. Let's go ahead and get into this video, guys, doing a game-by-game breakdown. Like I said, lock of the night coming at the end. We'll talk about DraftKings first, then we'll talk about some FanDuel. First game on the slate, we have San Antonio Spurs taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. As far as the total in this game comes in with a 217.5 over-under. It's a 6.5-point spread in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So expected to stay close, but not exactly expected to be the fastest up-tempo game. As far as the injury news we're dealing with in this game, Karis LeVert listed as questionable after being shipped over to Cleveland, so definitely keep your eyes on that. Because if he's available to play, obviously that's going to, impact this rotation. It's going to impact the usage. You're going to have Darius Garland and Karis LeVert now kind of taking away from one another. However, I do think that Karis LeVert's going to add to Darius Garland as far as not having quite as much attention on him. However, Darius Garland is listed as questionable, so keep your eyes on that. If one or both of these guys is in, if the other guy's out, the other guy is going to give a bump up in usage here. So certainly keep your eyes on that. And then Jared Allen and Evan Mobley will continue to see a lot of minutes and a lot of usage as well at the two big spots. So I like one of those guys mainly on the Cleveland side. If I'm having to pick some guys to run with there. Overall, it's not like anyone's really grading out too great for me in this game, to be honest with you, from a first look aspect in my projection model. Isaac Okoro at 3.7, I think, continues to see quite a few minutes. He's just not the best fantasy point producer is the problem. 3.7 on DraftKings. He's putting up 0.62 DK points per minute on the season. So if you want to go to him, he's probably going to play a lot of minutes. He is really cheap. So, I mean, I don't hate it, but just keep in mind he's not the best fantasy point producer. He is cheap. He is going to play, around 30, 35 minutes a game, but just not the best, like I said, on a point per minute basis. Definitely some nice friendly price tags on the San Antonio side. So I talked about not too many people standing out from this game, but I will say Derek White and Keldon Johnson at 6'1 and 6'2 respectively are really, really cheap for their upside. So I like Derek White a bunch at 6'1. He'd probably be my favorite option from this game. Keldon Johnson at 6'2, once again, another high upside guy that at his price tag could definitely pay off for you. And then you have Jakob Poeltl and DeJounte Murray, both of which are priced a little bit more appropriately. Both of which really do have a lot of upside if you want to go there. I just think there's some better, faster, up-tempo game environments I'd rather be targeting. So mainly I'm looking at Derek White and Keldon Johnson. Chicago taking on Charlotte is one of those games. Fantastic game environment here, guys. At the 231 over-under, 2.5-point spread in favor of the Chicago Bulls. Going to be a great spot to be targeting. And what I love about this game is the minutes are condensed. The usage is condensed. We pretty much know who's going to be dominating this stuff. For the Chicago side, it's the big three. It's DeRozan, Vucevic, Levine, all three of which are going to be fantastic plays in this one tonight. If I'm having to pick two of these guys, probably going to have to go with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan just strictly from a usage aspect. I think they dominate more often than not. Sometimes Vucevic kind of gets left out to dry, but I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't have a lot of interest in Vuce as well. And I do think this is a rare spot where you can play all three. All three priced pretty appropriately, 9.6, 9.5, 9.1. But if you look at the rest of the slate overall, I mean, it's a 231 over-under. There's a lot of other games that aren't so great. Blowouts, totals not being quite as high. So we know the usage is going to flow through these three guys. Really do like all three of them. And definitely going to be a high priority to be getting a bunch of these guys in my lineups tonight. If not one or two of them, three you can even go with. But typically speaking, three, you're limiting your upside a little bit in your lineups. I probably want to stick with the two of those guys, but I do think you can go to three on the slate tonight. And then you do have some other guys that have been playing a lot of minutes. Javonte Green at a 4.4 price tag, consistently playing, around 30 minutes in competitive games. We only saw him play 24 last time. I do think that was an outlier. I wouldn't take that too seriously. Just the way that the Suns were going on that game and stuff, they got down big. Javonte didn't play quite as many minutes. Like I said, would not take that too seriously. And then the other guy that's been playing a lot of minutes as well, alongside Javonte Green, is Troy Brown Jr. Now, obviously, Kobe White being back is a relevant thing. I think that kind of did have something to do with the Javonte Green minutes. Kobe White getting a few more of those minutes, but I'm not too concerned about it. I think you can play Kobe White or Javonte Green. They are a little bit negatively correlated, but both those guys kind of secondary options for me on the Bulls side. And on the Charlotte side, it's the same thing. We know the solid three. There's no Gordon Hayward in this game. That's going to be a big bump up for Kelly Oubre, who's priced very friendly right now at a 5.6 price tag. I like him a ton off the bench. A fast up-tempo game at 5.6. Kelly Oubre makes a lot of sense to me, so I don't want to leave him out of the equation. Mason Plumlee maybe get some more minutes having to guard some Nikola Vucevic, so I don't mind going to him in tournaments. Same can be said for PJ Washington. They're a little bit more versatile plays, not as consistent, whereas we have LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Terry Rozier, all three of these guys, once again, similar to the big three on the Bulls side, all three of these guys want to be getting a lot of exposure to, are a little bit negatively correlated. Maybe only getting 2 of them per lineup makes sense. However, if there's ever a spot to get all 3, I think this is a spot. So it's kind of the same story of the tape on the other side here for the Charlotte side. Toronto taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continues to be out in this one, which is going to make it so that we like Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, Lou Dort a lot more, Darius Bazley playing a lot more minutes. If you want to go to those guys, the problem is the Thunder only have a 99 implied team total. It's a little bit scary. I mean, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, like I said, really the guys you're looking to. The price tags are looking more and more appropriate by the day, though. Josh Giddey scares me a little bit in this type of game environment. It's a little bit slower pace. Might want to be going to the cheaper guys in a Lou Dort at 6'2", a Darius Bazley at 5'6". He's played 36, 36, 37, 37 minutes. Those two guys really do look like great plays to me. Josh Giddey's a great play as well. I'm just a little bit worried that that price tag might factor in too much for us in our lineups, and we'd much rather go down to these cheaper guys on the Oklahoma City side. Then you have Trey Mann at 4.9. Talked about it. Once again, 35 minutes a game. Wouldn't mind going there. Just keep in mind, they only have a 99 implied total. Like I said, I would focus on those two guys in Lou Dort, Darius Bazley for the most part for me. And then running it back on the other side with Toronto, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet at 9.4 and 8.7. Playing a ton of minutes. We know that. Once again, their side doesn't have the highest total. So I might want to be playing some of these other guys that are a little bit cheaper that are expected to get big minutes, like a Gary Trent, like an OG Anunoby, like a Scotty Barnes. I think that's going to be my game strategy in this one. Just much more realistic that they can actually get you there at their price tag. So go to an OG at 7.2, a Scotty Barnes at 6.7, a Gary Trent at 6.5. Once again, I do think based upon their price tags, my favorite two guys would be Scotty Barnes and Gary Trent. Just more realistic for them to get you there at their respective price tags. And then we have seen Manabi Diakite get some more minutes as well, and as well as a Derek Favors starting to get some more minutes for the Oklahoma City side, but splitting the minutes a little bit too thin for me. Derek Favors is only 3.3. If you want to go there, wouldn't call you crazy, but overall, I think I already kind of made it clear my favorite guys in this game. Minnesota taking on Sacramento. Going to be the next game on the slate. This game right now comes in with a 234 over-under. It's a 9-point spread in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tyrese Halliburton listed as questionable on the DraftKings app. He was indeed traded to the Pacers for Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, so don't expect him to be able to go. With there being no Halliburton against this Minnesota squad, going to be a lot more usage to go around for this Minnesota side, and they also dealt Buddy Hield in that deal as well. Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley listed as questionable, listed as out. Right now, that could change before this Wednesday game, so just monitor the status, guys. As far as right now, Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley expected to be in the starting lineup. If they're out, Maytu and Damian Jones become much better plays. Regardless, those four guys are going to get a lot of minutes. Now with this team dealing with these guys being gone, De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Harrison Barnes, all three are going to look a lot more better as well. Specifically Davion Mitchell. His price tag is very friendly for a guy that's stepping into a brand new role here now. He's going to have a lot more minutes, a lot more usage headed his way now, with there being no Tyrese Halliburton. Going to like him a lot. Harrison Barnes, already a guy that was getting a lot of minutes, but the usage should skyrocket here now with there being no Halliburton, no Buddy Hield. So he's someone that I would certainly be willing to get a lot of exposure to on this slate tonight. And overall, this Sacramento side is just going to look really good. Like I said, Davion Mitchell looking really good. De'Aaron Fox looking really good. A couple of these guys from these teams that have been trading away, a bunch of people I do have overprojected right now just because I have to throw the minutes somewhere and figure this all out with all the injury news for the time being in my projection model. But we know overall, still, these minutes are going to be there for these guys. They're going to have a lot of usage. Going to want to be targeting the Sacramento side in a big way. Specifically De'Aaron Fox at 7.7. The usage is going to just be really, really good now. They just played the same Minnesota squad last night. A game got away at the end, but he still put up 48 DraftKings points. I think we could see some more of that from De'Aaron Fox. Running back on the other side, we once again have a big three. It's Anthony Edwards, it's Karl-Anthony Towns, it's D'Angelo Russell. All the usage flows through these guys. We talked about it on the Chicago Bulls side. Same story can be said for these guys. I'm really going to want to be targeting these three: D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns. If I'm playing Karl-Anthony Towns at a 9.7 price tag, since he's priced up more, probably looking to either play only one of these two guys, Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell, or fade him. If I'm fading Karl-Anthony Towns, I could certainly play both Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell, or you could just play one of these guys. D'Angelo Russell would be my favorite option, once again, at his price tag. They get a fantastic matchup taking on the Sacramento squad, too. Sacramento, one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And I can tell you their defense did not just get better by releasing, trading away Halliburton. That's for sure. So, Sacramento, second to last in the league, 29th defensively, 28th in offensive rebound percentage, 29th at putbacks, 24th in half-court percentage of plays rank, 20th in half-court points per play rank. They are not good defensively, so I like targeting Sacramento a ton. Any chance I can get. Golden State Warriors taking on the Utah Jazz. Next game on the slate. This game comes in right now with a 220.5 over-under, 3-point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz, so expected to stay close. That could be enough to trigger some interest with these two teams, honestly. Both can be involved in a lot of blowouts. Most notably on the Utah side, they'll have a lot of interest. Golden State, there's no Klay Thompson expected to be out in this one. Draymond Green as well, so that is somewhat interesting here because that's going to bump up usage for some guys on the Golden State Warriors side. On Utah, though, they're continuing to be without Joe Ingles, Rudy Gay. And we already know Donovan Mitchell is going to dominate the usage, so at an 8.6 price tag, I do think Donovan Mitchell becomes a fantastic play here. Golden State and Utah, not ideal matchups. Two of the top defenses in the league. Utah grades out 11th overall in points per possession rank. Golden State is the #1 defense in the league. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, with the game staying close, Donovan Mitchell's usage, really think he has a large upside here compared to some of these games he's been in recently that can turn into blowouts. So I like Donovan Mitchell a ton. I like Mike Conley a ton. I like Bogdanovich a ton. And pretty much all of these stars that are getting minutes. Bogdanovich and Mike Conley at 6'5 and 6'4. Priced very friendly for guys that are going to play in the mid-30s minutes. Good fantasy point producers. And then on the other side with Golden State, with there being no Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins gets a huge bump up here at 6'3. He becomes a much more intriguing play at that price tag. Jordan Clarkson off the bench at 5'5 is pretty interesting as well on the Utah side. Like I said, probably going to be prioritizing Donovan Mitchell for the most part from Utah. But with there being no Klay Thompson on Golden State, Jordan Poole becomes much more interesting off the bench as well as a six-man. But the biggest thing is Andrew Wiggins, Stephen Curry really look like much better plays than they would if Klay Thompson was in here. So I want to capitalize on those two guys. And on the Utah side, I want to capitalize on Donovan Mitchell for the most part, running it back with him. I just think he's going to dominate that usage so much here. And then lastly, you have Azubuike at the center position, playing around 28 minutes a game with there being no Rudy Gobert. Don't sleep on him at only 4K. Good fantasy point producer. And Kevon Looney on the other side, they're going to need a big body out there. So I do think he is pretty interesting. Followed by Hassan Whiteside, who we have now seen kind of have a diminished role here for some reason. He's only playing like 20 minutes a game. So keep your eyes on that starting lineup if for some reason Whiteside starts. But for the time being, I do prefer Azubuike. LA Lakers taking on Portland. We get another fantastic game environment here with a 225.5 over-under. LA Lakers favored by 7.5. The Portland Trail Blazers have a much different looking squad now. Justice Winslow, Yusuf Nurkic, Ben McLemore, CJ Ellaby, Anthony Simmons. There's no CJ McCollum. There's no Norman Powell. The lineup looks really weird, but once again, similar to the Sacramento squad, they get a great matchup, and this is a squad that I'm going to want to be targeting tonight. Yusuf Nurkic, I'm going to have a lot of upside at an 8.2 price tag. Anthony Simmons at 7.3. Going to be targeting him a lot with a lot of usage. Justice Winslow, CJ Ellaby. We saw Winslow play 33 minutes last time out, put up 32 DraftKings points at this price tag. Keep playing him a ton. CJ Ellaby at 4.4, same thing, mid-30s minutes, play him a ton. Ben McLemore at 4.3, 31 minutes, play him a ton. This is just a squad we're going to want to be loading up on because as far as, them just being shorthanded and getting their new rotation in line here, a lot of usage, a lot of good stuff to go around. Trent Watford's only 3.1. Dennis Smith's only 4.1. Greg Brown at 3.8. You could literally be playing all of these guys in your lineups for value, depending upon which roster spot you have open and, which spots you're paying up for. These guys are all really going to be looking good. I would prioritize the starters, obviously. They're the ones that got the most minutes last time out. They're the ones going to continue to get the most minutes. So, Simmons, McLemore, Ellaby, Winslow, Nurkic are my priorities. But if the game does, for some reason, turn into a blowout, the other guys can be getting a lot of minutes. At this point, I'm not confident the Lakers can blow anyone out, but if there was ever a team they could, this would be the one. LeBron James, Anthony Davis going to look like great plays. I'm going to continue to just load up on Anthony Davis and LeBron James and fade Russell Westbrook. It's very clear to me that they're not as high on Russell Westbrook's ability. He's gotten benched for key parts of the game the last 2 times out. Not closing games. And I'm not going to play Russell Westbrook for that reason. I'm just going to load up on Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and those are the two guys I'm mainly looking to. And then my third option on the LA Lakers is going to be Malik Monk. So that's kind of my approach here. That's where I'd be looking to. In this one, that's my overall breakdown for the 6-game slate, guys. Quick look over at a FanDuel, look at some pricing discrepancies. I know we already covered pretty much the whole entire slate, but there always is pricing discrepancies. I want to help out my FanDuel people, a lot of which we went over will apply over here, but just pulling it up on the screen. As far as some top options, we talked about it, but I mean, De'Aaron Fox is going to get a big bump up in usage now with there being no Halliburton at 8-1. Going to like him a lot over here. Anthony Simmons, the same can be said for him at 6'8". Derek White, 6'4". Terry Rozier, 6'4". Price very friendly over here. Davion Mitchell at 5'7". So I mean, these names I'm listing off probably sound very familiar with what we just went over. Stephen Curry at 9'5", with there being no Klay Thompson. Price very friendly on FanDuel. Like that a lot. Donovan Mitchell at 8'8". I like that a lot. LaMelo Ball at 8'4". I like that a lot. Those would be the priorities for me at the point guard position. Josh Giddey, D'Angelo Russell. Once again, Josh Giddey priced a little bit more appropriate than his teammates, so I will say that. DeMar DeRozan at 10.5, worth the pay-up option in this kind of a game environment, so I don't mind going to that. Zach LaVine at 8K, price very friendly. Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Lou Dort, Josh Giddey. Once again, we already talked about these guys. Gary Trent, 6'6", Terry Rozier. Kelly Oubre at 6'1", price very friendly. Malik Monk at 6'1", price very friendly. Those are certainly some guys I'd be going to. Small forward position, OG, he's going to play a lot of minutes for Toronto. LeBron against that Portland squad, paying up. Miles Bridges at 7'2", that's I like that price tag a lot. Playing a bunch of him. Scotty Barnes at 6'4", Keldon Johnson at 6'2", that other Spurs guy. Darius Bazley at 6K, still priced very friendly. Willing to take advantage of that for sure. At the power forward position, LeBron, Anthony Davis, my top priority pay-up options. You have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley still on the Cleveland side. Scotty Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Darius Bazley. We already talked about that. Jared Vanderbilt's a guy that we didn't touch on that plays a lot of minutes, grabs a lot of rebounds. He can be good for some blocks and steals. We didn't quite mention him. His minutes have been way down as of late, though. He's only playing like 20 minutes a game as to where he was playing like 30+, so it's a little bit dicey for me. Minnesota's starting to scare me with the rotations a little bit, to be honest with you. We've seen Taurean Prince. He's priced at the 5'2" now. He's starting to play, 20 minutes a game for this rotation. I would just probably stick to the studs. PG Washington at 4'9". We talked about him being a versatile play that could pay off for you in your tournament lineups. Trevor Ariza at 3'9" is a guy we didn't bring up. He's the one that's kind of playing massive minutes for the LA Lakers at times. If you want to go there, a little bit risky, but back-to-back. Karl-Anthony Towns at 9'9", great matchup against Sacramento. Nikola Vucevic at 9'8", great matchup. Jakob Poeltl at 7'8", a decent play. I would much rather play Yusuf Nurkic at 7'7" with all the usage he's about to get with this Portland squad, though, I will say. Hassan Whiteside, we talked about Damian Jones if the bigs are out for Sacramento. Mason Plumlee, Azubuike is pretty interesting if you want to go there at the center position. A little bit risky. You can only play one center, but he does have the upside. So yeah, a lot of what we went over. I think we just did a pretty good job of naming off some of my favorites there, guys. And without further ado, we've got to give you guys my lock of the night. Of course, as always, if you haven't signed up for PrizePicks, guys, use that promo code KJK DFS to receive that instant match deposit up to $100 today. Sign up over there. If you haven't signed up for the premium content package, you can check that out, link below in the description, patreon.com/KJK_DFS. And with all that being said, guys, got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Anthony Simmons. No more CJ McCollum, no more Norman Powell on this team tonight. He's going to receive a huge bump up in usage, and we know the kind of fantasy point producer this guy is. The price tag has not adjusted. Currently at 6'8" on FanDuel, putting up 0.86 FanDuel points per minute. I would expect that to climb in this new role. And DraftKings 7'3", 0.93 DK points per minute. Once again, would expect that to climb in this new role. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there you guys, Anthony Simmons, get him in your lineups, and that is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Wishing you guys all the best of luck on this slate tonight, and we will see you in the next one.